Okay, so I thought we could go over one of the major scale patterns that I think is more often overlooked because it's not in a root position for a major or a minor scale. So I would call it the third position, because if we start, from a first position, uh, this one in G, it's, here's a second position and third position. But we're going to do these in D, this one today. So in the third position, D, this scale is based around this chord. So it's a D chord. You would probably recognize. So if we just continue the triads down, and here's our root at the 5th fret. So the scale position, if we start it all the way down on the bass strings, starts on the 3rd of the D scale. And the pattern in terms of finger numbers goes 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So the scale, it's a D major scale, but we're starting on the 3rd. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, root. And I think it's helpful for me to say those intervals out loud and to sing them. Why not? Practice. Because you want to know where those numbers, where the intervals are. You want to know where your root is. There's some roots. It's helpful to know where your thirds are. Fifth. So then that's all the triads, It helps you to know how, if you wanted to make it minor or major 7, you could do that. Minor, major, triad, major 7, So the scale, we'll play it a few times here, starting at the low end, just so we know the pattern on the 3rd. So that's a D scale, and we know about D, it's got 2 sharps, so it's helpful also, as well as saying the interval numbers, it's also helpful to practice through it and say your notes. Because if you're going to be practicing these scales for a few minutes a day, you might as well be saying the intervals notes, getting to know these things. So the third of D is F sharp. So we start on F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A is the fifth, G, F sharp is the third, E, D is the root, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, third. So, that's helpful to practice that. So an interesting thing about this scale, used in a modal sense, this kind of is an easy access to the Phrygian mode, which is a cool sound. It has some interesting qualities to it. It has a flat second, a flat third, a fourth, a fifth, flat sixth, and a flat seven. So without really having to do anything different than what we just played, if you put it in a different context, you get some interesting sounds. So if we play this same scale over F sharp minor, we're going to get the Phrygian mode, because F sharp minor is the third degree of the D scale. So we can put it into a context of an F sharp minor. We play the same scale. You get a neat sound. Then you put it into a chord progression, an F sharp minor into G major, so a 3-4 chord progression. So that's, one more reason why learning all the scale patterns is really helpful, because it gives you access to these different sounds. It's not just learning the major scale. You use these major scales to bring about all kinds of different sounds through the modes. And so you can learn your intervals, learn your triad shapes, learn note names, and learn modes by just learning these major scales. And there are 5 patterns. I call this one pattern 3. So one more time.